your eyes on the horizon.
Copy that, moving out.
NISA J is a regular ground force, operating independently, but in parallel with the Iranian Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. It is a traditional military force, loyal to the Islamic State, primarily responsible for internal security, borders, and national defense. It uses standard military camouflage uniforms, usually in a camouflage pattern: green, brown, sand, depending on the terrain, desert or mountainous forest. The standard helmet is the ISIS and variants based on the fast MT type. Main equipment: tanks, T-72, M60, A1, Chieftain, and domestically produced types such as Zulfikar and Karar. Armored vehicles: Borag upgraded BMT-2, M113, BMP-12, and domestically produced armored personnel carriers. Artillery: self-propelled artillery, M109, 2S1, and towed artillery, artillery missiles. Personal weapons: AK-47, AKM, G3 assault rifles, and domestically produced firearms. Special equipment: Iranian-made UAVs, unmanned aerial vehicles, and short, medium-range ballistic missiles. Role and mission: border protection, counterinsurgency, territorial integrity protection, and participation in strategic defense operations. Personnel strength: estimated at approximately 350,000 personnel, including professional officers and conscripts. The T-72 is a Soviet main battle tank, introduced in the late 1960s, renowned for its compact design, thick armor, low production cost, and automatic loading system. Modernized versions such as the T-72, B3, B3M are equipped with Contact 5, Relect, explosive reactive armor, a 125mm .2, a 4.6 M5 cannon, and engines with up to 1,130 horsepower. Design: compact, weighing approximately 45 tons, with a low height, 2.2 meters, to reduce the cross-section from which it can be hit. Firepower: uses a 125mm smoothbore cannon capable of firing armor-piercing rounds and 9 M119 Zvir reflex anti-tank missiles. Mobility: maximum speed, approximately 60-70 kilometers per hour. Upgraded version, range 500 kilometers. Hull: constructed of cast, welded steel. B3 versions are reinforced with composite armor. Characteristic round shape. Newer versions are equipped with explosive reactive armor, FDI, for better protection. Engine: V46 diesel, 780 HP in the first generation. Firepower: 2, a 46 main gun, 7.62mm PKTM coaxial machine gun, 12.7mm NSV, NSVT anti-aircraft machine gun. The M109 self-propelled howitzer is one of the most successful 155mm self-propelled howitzers in history. Manufactured by Before Anyone Else Systems. Powerful firepower. Uses the NATO standard 155mm caliber, capable of firing various types of ammunition, from high explosive rounds to precision-guided rounds. High mobility. The tracked chassis design allows the vehicle to move flexibly across all terrains, from paved roads to muddy swamps. Combat weight: approximately 28.7 to 29 tons. Crew: 6 people, reduced to 4 on highly automated variants. Detroit diesel: 8 volts, 71 tons, 440 horsepower. Maximum speed: 64 kilometers per hour. Maximum firing range: 24-30 kilometers standard ammunition and up to 40 kilometers Excalibur ammunition. Rate of fire: maximum 4 rounds minute, sustained 1 round minute. Hull and armor: made of welded aluminum alloy, approximately 32mm thick, protecting the crew from shrapnel, from artillery shells and small arms fire. So what skills do they need? Urban and complex terrain warfare. Ability to operate in high mountains, deserts, and densely populated urban environments. Utilization of UAVs and missiles. Proficient operation of domestically produced UAVs, reconnaissance, attack, and long-range ballistic cruise missiles. Coordinated warfare. Effective combination of infantry, armored units, and besiege forces, militia. Operation and production of advanced UAVs. Nizhija extensively uses UAVs for reconnaissance and attack purposes. Reverse engineering. Ability to analyze and replicate U.S. and Israeli drones and weapons. Air defense warfare. Development of domestic air defense systems to protect strategic facilities. High-speed boat warfare. Coordination to disrupt maritime traffic in the Strait of Hormuz.
Coordinates synchronized, acknowledging enemy movement.
Assemble the perimeter at the line. Roger that. Assembling at the line.
Neza is an infantry force of the Iranian Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, established after the 1979 revolution to protect the ideology and regime. They operate independently of the regular army and are directly accountable to Iran's supreme leader. They use modern camouflage uniforms, standard body armor such as Ruyan 3, providing NIJ 4-level protection, and ISIS helmets or variants of the Fast MT. Main equipment: tanks, armored vehicles, T-72 main battle tanks, BMP armored personnel carriers, light armored vehicles, infantry weapons, artillery, assault rifles, such as the AK-103, domestically produced, heavy machine guns, self-propelled artillery, and anti-tank missile systems. Other, use of unmanned aerial vehicles and electronic warfare equipment. Roles and responsibilities: protecting national security, internal security, and borders, countering external threats and internal enemies, and external aggressors, controlling, smuggling, and asymmetrical activities, supporting proxy forces in the region. Approximately over 150,000 soldiers. The BMP Armored Combat Vehicle is a versatile tracked armored vehicle, notable for its amphibious capabilities, troop transport, 7 to 8 soldiers, and powerful firepower cannon, anti-tank missiles, allowing infantry to fight from inside the vehicle. The main models, BMP 1, 2, 3, are characterized by their rear front engine design, aluminum alloy armor, and high speed up to 70 kilometers per hour. Firepower. Equipped with more powerful firepower than conventional armored personnel carriers, APCs. BMP 173mm cannon, BMP 230mm automatic cannon, BMP 3 combination of 100mm cannon, 30mm cannon, and missiles. Combat infantry can fire their personal weapons through the loopholes on the sides of the vehicle. Functions: used for troop transport, fire support, anti-tank warfare, and fortifications. Structure and design: usually made of aluminum alloy or steel, with thinner armor than tanks, providing protection against heavy machine gun fire and artillery shrapnel. Turbo centrally mounted, rotates 360 degrees, integrates the main gun, coaxial machine gun, and missile launcher. Maximum speed: approximately 70 kilometers per hour on land and 10 kilometers per hour underwater. Crew: 3 pilots plus 7 to 8 infantry. Range: approximately 600 kilometers. Secondary weapon: 7.62mm coaxial machine gun. Unmanned aerial vehicles are unmanned aerial vehicles, remotely or autonomously controlled, with a lightweight structure, equipped with electric, gasoline engines, sensors, and flight controllers. Their outstanding feature is high maneuverability. Frame: usually made of carbon fiber, rigid plastic, or aluminum alloy, lightweight and durable. Peripheral equipment: camera, multispectral sensors, LiDAR, GPS, LEDs, electronic speed control, ESC. Flight time: typically 10 to 30 minutes, potentially longer with specialized UAVs. Range: can range from a few hundred meters, personal drone, to hundreds of kilometers, military UAV. Payload: capable of carrying cameras, weapons, or pesticides. Maximum altitude: limited by engine power and aviation regulations. So, what skills do they need? Internal and border security. Tightly controlling borders, preventing smuggling, and suppressing domestic security threats. Militia operations. Coordinating and training large volunteer militia forces to support military operations and social control. Mobile and rapid response operations. The ability to deploy quickly to resolve border or internal conflicts. Technical expertise. Proficient in the use of heavy infantry weapons, artillery, and missiles. Proxy warfare. Supporting, training, and directing proxy forces such as Hezbollah, Hamas, Houthi to achieve Iran's strategic objectives. Psychological warfare and intelligence. Conducting information campaigns and intelligence operations to destabilize the enemy or protect the regime. Special operations and covert operations. IRGC Special Operations units specialize in carrying out specific missions, including resistance operations outside its territory.
Keep eyes on the alleys. Copy?
The Basij Militia is a volunteer paramilitary force supporting the IRGC, tasked with internal security, law enforcement, and maintaining moral order. They include branches from schools, universities, tribes, and public service groups. They typically wear military-like camouflage uniforms or simple civilian clothing, shirts and trousers, when performing community patrol duties, often accompanied by armbands or Basij identification badges. Main equipment: weapons. Primarily assault rifles such as AK-47 seconds and SKSs, and support tools such as batons, rubber bullet guns, or tear gas grenades. Equipment: light body armor, riot helmets, and sometimes simple surveillance equipment. Roles and duties: internal security, suppressing protests and riots, and maintaining regime stability. Religion, politics, participating in religious and political events and marches. Society, community, serving the community, volunteering in rescue operations and other volunteer activities. According to the International Institute for Strategic Studies, IISSS, Basij has the capacity to mobilize up to approximately 600,000 volunteers. The AK-47 submachine gun, designed by Mikhail Kalashnikov, is renowned for its durability and effectiveness in harsh conditions. Extreme durability, operates reliably even in mud, sand, dust, or after submersion in water. Powerful firepower, good effective range at medium distances, capable of single shot or automatic fire. Weight: approximately 4.3 kilograms, with a full magazine. Length: 870 millimeters. California 7.62x 39 millimeters K56 round. Theoretical rate of fire: 600 rounds, minute. Muzzle velocity: 715 meters per second. Effective range: approximately 400 meters range, indicated on the sights, up to 800 meters. Magazine capacity: 30 rounds. The AK-47 rifle consists of 11 main parts that work together harmoniously. Has 4 rifling grooves, some documents record different improvements, to create stable spin for the bullet. Sights: consists of the front sight and rear sight. Belgium and breech block connect the parts and protect the internal mechanism. Belgium bolt carrier and bolt. Transmits the thrust from the propellant gas to automatically load the next round. Belgium lock seals the chamber and explodes the bullet. Recoil mechanism returns the breech carrier to its original position after firing. Bullet guide and handguard protect the shooter's hand from the high temperature of the barrel. Trigger mechanism holds the hammer and fires the shot. Staff and grip provides a stable point of support for firing. Magazine supplies ammunition to the rifle. Iran's Basij paramilitary force, a branch of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, requires members to possess high ideological devotion, internal security skills, law enforcement, and crowd control abilities to maintain moral order. Essential skills: ideology and loyalty, devotion to the Islamic State and its supreme leader. Internal security, maintaining public order and crowd control, law enforcement, morality, enforcing Islamic moral principles and laws, mobilization, organizing and participating in religious and political events, special skills, anti-riot, special skills to quell uprisings and protests by citizens and students, intelligence, gathering information and monitoring local internal threats, military mobilization, willingness to participate in critical defense tasks and support the IRGC. The Iranian Army's combat readiness process includes the following steps: threat identification and alert level setting. Iran typically categorizes challenges into groups to determine alert levels and troop priorities. Readiness orders and activation of the command control mechanism to at the national level, the Armed Forces General Staff coordinates between the Artesh and IRGC. Qatam al-Anbiya Central Headquarters is described as the Joint Operational Command Center, responsible for planning, coordinating operations, personnel count, duty officer checks, troop reinforcement, review duty shifts and readiness, reinforce the protection of key targets. With the IRGC branch, mobilization, deployment by area is often linked to local networks and reserve paramilitary forces such as basage, equipment, ammunition, mobility checks. This step is a classic readiness check. The condition of motorized vehicles, artillery, low-altitude air defense, Army, tactical reconnaissance, UAVs, communications and supplies, logistics, medical, repair support, establishing supply lines, field depots, medical, medevac capabilities, and rapid maintenance. Several recent official statements emphasize operational and logistical readiness following tensions, conflict scenarios. Training, exercises to measure readiness. Iran often uses exercises as a tool to assess and improve readiness. For example, Army drills involving artillery, armor, airborne landings, UAVs, electronic warfare, etc., force deployment, and defensive, mobile formation. When moving to a higher state, the steps usually include moving to the assembly area, dispersing forces, establishing a defensive line, and continuous reconnaissance and surveillance. At the doctrinal level, many analyses describe Iran as emphasizing asymmetric defense and deterrence, but the specific deployment depends on the scenario. Maintaining readiness and learning from experience, AAR, and returning to the cycle, maintaining rotational combat readiness, compensating for losses, updating plans, and learning from experience after exercises, events, to raise the readiness threshold for the next time.